guys! So for this week's video, I have been challenged by Katy to make a character based on the decade 70s. I have also given her a decade to base her character off too. If you want to go and check out her video, I have linked it down below in the description. And you should go and check out her channel too and maybe give her a subscribe. So I actually had to do a little bit of research for this piece, so I'm going to actually start by sketching out some ideas of what I think would work well, and like different bits that I like about 70s fashion that I think will work well together. So let's go and get started. To help me get ideas, I looked on Pinterest and Google Images to try and see if I could find some clothes from the 70s. I actually found it quite hard to find things that weren't recent photos that had been uploaded from clothes that people would wear nowadays that are based on 70s style. But I did manage to find some old photographs to look at, and I also found some clothing patterns as well, which had some really cute little illustrations on the front of them of the designs you can make inside the packet, and I think they were really useful, and I definitely used them a lot and based a lot of my final ideas and designs off these. So when I was doing my research, I found this pattern which had this really cute little skirt, but they looked like shorts. And I actually went and did some research in them, and I actually realised that they are actually shorts, but they're meant to look like skirts. So they actually separate in the middle, but when your legs are closer together, it looks all like one piece. They actually call them scooter shorts in America, but here in the UK, we actually call them skorts because they're, you know, shorts and skirts put together. Sometimes they'll have a little flap over the front of it, but I decided to draw my pair without them. I saw this photo of this girl wearing this kind of a really cute top. It was like a vest top with a really big collar, and I thought it looked really nice, so I decided to put her in that. And obviously I did have to think about the hair as well. I actually struggled a bit drawing this face. I had to do it a few times, but I actually really like how it did turn out in the end. I just struggled with getting it right the first time round, but I do like how it came out in the end. So I also did think about the hair. I decided to give her kind of a big wavy kind of look, decided to make her hair blonde, and I did actually end up adding makeup to her as well when I coloured it in, which I will explain later on in this video. I was going to have her holding onto a pair of sunglasses, but in the final edit I did actually get rid of them and decided to go for something else instead. So, as you can see, I am actually now drawing another character. The reason for this was because I had so many ideas and I couldn't decide what I wanted to go for, and I really kind of wanted to capture like the 70s of it, and I really thought it was important to get flared trousers in there. I decided to do another character. So she has got a friend with her, and I do actually kind of make them match together, and I really like how they both came out and complement each other. So for her, I actually gave her a pair of roller skates, just because roller disco was really popular in America in the 70s, so I kind of wanted to give her some roller skates as well. So I guess these are just two girls, you know, hanging out in the park, and maybe one of them's on roller skates. I had a lot of fun with this piece, and it was quite different to what I normally do. It's actually been a while since I've drawn some girls. Usually I kind of put them in clothes that are something that you'd see somebody wearing nowadays, which, to be honest, I don't think the outfits are too outlandish, but they are quite more 70s than what you'd see today, especially with the roller skates and the flared trousers. With her trousers, I really wanted to try and get that flow and movement in her, like she just stopped to greet her friend, and I think I captured that. I hope I did. Let me know in the comments down below if you think I managed to do that. So for this girl, I decided to put her in a headband because hippie culture was a big thing then, and they'd wear these bright, colourful headbands, so I decided to put the girl in the left in a headband to kind of, you know, put it all together and have different elements of what was fashionable in the 70s. For the girl on the right, her shoes, I realised that what was popular were really chunky soles, so I put her in a pair of really chunky sandals, high-heeled sandals, which I think give her a really summery look, which matches well with her collared vest top and skirts. One of the things I noticed a lot was that it seemed to be like a lot of the outfits were tighter on top and then they'd get looser on the bottom, which I think I captured in the loose skirts and flared trousers. When I was outlining this, I started thinking about how I could possibly colour them in. I wanted both characters to complement each other and even match. So I needed to think about how I could get this to work really well together. So what I ended up doing was I gave the girl on the left stripy blue trousers, and I really like how these came out. Kind of want a pair of these myself, I'm not gonna lie. I think they're really cool and fun, and it was just a really great way to kind of show the movement of the trousers and the girl as well. I kind of had to put a little bit of effort in to make sure that the lines worked well together and kind of like went to the shape of her body, which I did kind of find a little bit hard about the first one, but then I got the hang of it, and I really enjoyed putting down the stripes and seeing it turn out really fun and nice. And then to complement that, I gave the girl on the right stripes going the other way on her top. And I really think they work well together. They're matching, but not too matching, and it looks really good in the overall illustration. So this looks a little bit scary, but I just needed to see where I needed to place the white without the background distracting me from being able to tell where I need to place some white down. So to complement each other again, I decided to finish their outfits off with some red. I gave the girl a faded red t-shirt and the girl some faded red skirts. I actually used the same colours again to make sure they complemented each other and matched. I kind of muted it down a bit because when I was looking through, they didn't necessarily use bright reds. They tended to use a little bit more softer or maybe a little bit darker, but they'd never use like a pure bright red, which I really liked. How it looked against the blue. I wouldn't really say blue and red are colours that I'd often put together, but I do like how it came out in this illustration. I used a slightly darker blue for the headband, and I used a slightly darker red for the girl's shoes, just because I wanted a little bit of contrast and difference in there, and to make their outfits a little bit more individual and not too matchy-matchy. For the skates, I did use a blue, but that was because when I googled skates from the 70s, I realised that most of them tended to be blue and with bits of red and individually coloured stripes on the side of them. I'm not really sure why that was. I guess maybe one company made them all and made them all to look the same, but I decided to incorporate that into my illustration and kind of make it feel more classically 70s. I just thought that they went well with the outfit as well because she does already have blue in her clothes that she's wearing. So I did also look up makeup, and I realised that they tended to have quite glossy lips with a lot of eyeshadow in bright colours like green and blue that tended to go quite high up over the eye. So I wanted to kind of keep in theme with that, and I put in a little shading there to add the depth that all sort of 70s makeup seems to have to it. I really like how the eyeshadow looks. I think in person it's not that nice, but in this illustration I really think it kind of just adds a little bit more to her face, and I do actually like how it looks on this. It's not something you'd probably wear nowadays, but I think it works quite well in this illustration. So now I'm just kind of finishing off, adding the last few touches, colouring in the girl's skin, and just finishing this illustration off overall. I had a lot of fun doing this, and it was a really good challenge. It's not something I'd have probably considered really doing before, but I definitely think it was really nice to try something else and actually do some research before I go into like drawing one of my girls. Usually if it's just a mermaid, I'll come up with some creative idea, but I won't necessarily like look into the history of the clothes, which I did get to do with this illustration. So I've just seen what Katy's final illustration looks like too, and I really like how hers turned out, so make sure that to go and check hers out if you haven't already. I think it was a really fun challenge and I really enjoyed doing this with someone else. thank you so much for watching this video. So in the end, I did end up drawing 2 characters rather than 1, but I think they worked really well together. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and leave a comment below telling me if you want me to collab with anyone else, and if you have any suggestions on who it could be with or anything I could do. Maybe I could possibly see if it would be possible. Obviously I can't collab with anyone who's got like 1 million subscribers, but you know, maybe someone might be interested out there. I'll have to see. If you haven't subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button and hit the bell button to be the first to be notified for when I next upload. And don't forget to check out Katy's video, which is linked down in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye!